beetroot. This is also a supplement I take on most days. There was a 2023 crossover randomized control trial. This means that the placebo group and the treatment group were then switched so we could compare across groups to make sure the finding was consistent. Given either 3 grams of beetroot as a powder or placebo, and they found that supplementation with the beetroot led to improved short and long-term memory and also cognitive flexibility. The way I think about cognitive flexibility is task switching. Why was it, perhaps, that the beetroot improved these domains of cognition? Well, we know that beetroot can improve circulation. There's some evidence that has found that beetroot supplementation can improve cardiovascular performance, can increase levels of what's known as nitric oxide, and nitric oxide may improve performance via increasing circulation. As you can imagine, as we've discussed before, polyphenols are what gives fruits and vegetables their color, and obviously beetroot is this bright, rich red, therefore it's rich in antioxidants. And just to briefly touch on the fact that this was one randomized control trial, what if we zoom out and look for meta-analyses that have summarized the body of evidence for beetroot? Well, there are no meta-analyses on cognition, but there are meta-analyses on beetroot being able to reduce exercise-induced muscle damage, and a separate meta-analysis that found that beetroot juice, but in this case not powder, led to a reduction in blood pressure. So something to perhaps consider is adding either beetroot juice or powder to your daily routine. We just mentioned polyphenols. These are nutrients in plants that help the body, the human system, manage inflammation and protect against oxidative stress due to, amongst other things, the rich antioxidant content. This is where a 2023 meta-analysis of 37 studies was interesting in that they found that polyphenol consumption in the diet was associated with a 20% lower risk of cognitive impairment. And this may be where the axiom, the recommendation to eat the rainbow has relevance in terms of aim for different colors across the fruits and vegetables that you eat. To quote this paper, habitual inclusion of flavonoids in the diet may play a preventative role in cognitive disorders. And polyphenols and flavonoids are very loosely said kind of AKAs for what you will get in richly colored fruits and vegetables. And I did want to touch on something that we had covered in a previous video on best foods for brain health, wherein we cite a study listing the most rich polyphenol foods. This includes cloves, peppermint, dark chocolate, flax seeds, rosemary, and blueberries, which is why one of my recommendations was consider pairing chocolate, dark chocolate that is, so it's going to have minimal sugar, with blueberries. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, if we're eating ultra-processed food, those foods are likely supplanting these polyphenol-rich foods that we get from plants. I also just want to say that I'm not making the claim that you have to eat a plant-based diet, but I think an omnivorous diet that includes healthy sources of meat and fish and fat, plus fruits and vegetables, is probably the best, healthiest, most well-rounded and balanced diet.